Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business Show starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the Better Your Business Show. Learn from our panel of industry experts as we teach you how to better your business. I'm Natalie Essman, financial strategist and your host. My co-host this morning, the beautiful executive coach, Ms. Shanna Mavis.
Good morning, everyone. So happy to be back. Thank you, Natalie. If you're here, then you're likely a business owner. And we know that if you're a business owner, you're a visionary. You have goals, you have dreams, and you have the commitment to achieve them. But what you may not have, and why we're bringing this show to you, is to provide you with access to experts who can help you grow your business without falling prey to the mindset that you have to fail to succeed. And one of the things that we've always loved, and I'm going to quote Carlton from the Brilliant Breakthroughs for the Small Business Owner book series, but he said in there, failure is not required.
That's right. So whether you are joining us live or watching the replay, make sure you go to pillar5.com and take your free business assessment, and then join us on the show where we can address any questions or concerns that you may have.
Yeah, super exciting. I found out a lot about our guest just right before the show. And I was just super pumped because I know a lot of people that he can help and just the way that they do things. I want to get into this. Is it time for our dance party? Am I hearing the dance music?
You're hearing the dance party. I hope that he was warned that he has to dance intro part of it.
We need to bring him into music. Is this his theme?
This is his intro song, yes. We're going to work on that intro song, Carlton. But yes, he is the influential editor-in-chief of Prolific Quarterly. He is the managing director at H Couture Model Management and online editor-in-chief. You know you have arrived when your name is only one name, and that is H. Bring him in. Man known as H. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you ladies doing?
Fabulous.
Great. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Good. We're so excited to have you and just learn more about you and your magazine and what you do and just all your creative endeavors. It's really exciting for Shanna and I think even especially as females to start the morning with some fashion. So we're thrilled.
Oh man, great. You guys look good.
Thank you. That's a little pressure. I'm not gonna lie, H.
I thought with that music, you should have walked the runway.
I'm feeling like you recruit talent, so we had to step it up just in case there was an opportunity there, you know.
Always an opportunity.
That's right. So H, tell us a little bit about you, your background. How did you become, is this what you always wanted to do, was be an editor-in-chief? Have you always been in fashion?
It's kind of funny. It all started back when I was younger. I grew up in the entertainment industry. My mom was a celebrity chef. So I grew up around entertainment, saw a lot of people that were at the top of their game, saw how they live outside of the light. So I was attracted by it. Started getting into entertainment. Everybody wants to be a star, but nobody wants to do the work. So managed a lot of people, made a lot of money, lost a lot of money. Was able to control the narrative on the creative side of the artist. And one day I just came into the office and told the team, we're going to start a magazine. And they said, what? Okay, let's do it. And there it was birthed at my assistant's kitchen table. First meeting.
Wow. Okay. So tell me about the name.
Prolific is a word that always spoke to my heart. Just one little part of the word definition, which was to bear fruit and multiply. So I had got it tattooed on my body and said, I'm going to go with this because that's all I wanted to do was to grow, produce fruit, and multiply. And that's kind of how I try to live my life. And it's been working out so far, so good.
What are some lessons you've learned along the way?
Oh, man. I think the biggest lesson, I was just talking to a friend about this and my brother, is if something's tugging on my heart, there's a reason why. And I guess as people, we kind of have these things we want to do, but we think we can't do it. And I said at an early age that I did not want to one day say, I wish, what could have been. So usually if it comes on my heart, then I look forward and see if I can make it become a reality.
I love it. I love it. One of the things, well, Natalie, I feel like I cut you off, but
go ahead.
Okay. One of the things that we talked about before the break that I didn't know about your magazine. Well, I didn't know anything. And so I heard as I stepped into the studio what you and Natalie were talking about, but then you talked about how expansive it is. So can we talk a little bit about the, where you are and how you got there? Because to be in as many countries as you're in, that was a journey in and of itself. And so it'll be good for anyone that's thinking about starting a magazine or anyone that's, even in business, there's a lesson to be learned that you've already learned. So if you can walk us through where you started to where you are now, that would be amazing.
Definitely. I think the first thing that I thought was, who would my audience be? I knew I wanted to do it in fashion. Fashion was something that always intrigued me. So the best of both worlds for me, I was able to deal with people, but I was able to make them look good and create some art. So the hardest thing for me was to find who my audience was, and then to try to get support to support me wanting to do this big dream of starting this publication in an industry that is kind of cliquish. So what I had to do was I had to go overseas and find people that believed in what I was doing and bring them to the table to support it, and then go out and figure out how to do this thing. I had the money coming in for ads, but I didn't have photographers. I didn't know what to do. So I had to learn the whole process of what my business was and how to do it. I reached out to people, and some people told me they could not work with me because I was kind of beneath them. And instead of that hurting me, I took it as, you'll call me back one day. It's okay. And I won't remember this conversation. So structuring the plan of how I wanted to do it, I think was the key thing for me. And then altering it as I started going down the process. Ironically for us, the support came from overseas, which led us to be able to have teams in Costa Rica, Barcelona, Paris, Norway, Canada, South Africa, Australia, Austria, Rio, Germany, and Italy. So these were teams that were already doing what we are doing. They just didn't have a platform to showcase their work. So that was a light bulb for me. I learned that people were trying to showcase work, but there was nobody fighting for them and giving them a platform to continually showcase their work. So that kind of changed the game for us. So it's kind of like, well, if we can help people while we're building our team, then people will be loyal to us, and people will always help us and bring us the best work that's possible. Then we can influence them in what we're looking for once we learn what is really going on in the marketplace. So the team was crucial. People believed in us. They believed in the vision, the mission. We had people that when we started that were shooting for us for free, that were shooting $7,500 an image for like Vogue and Cosmo. They were shooting for us for free because they believed in it. And they were like, if you can do this, then this will be something that's special, and I want to attach myself to it and give opportunity to people that the big boys wouldn't give an opportunity to. So we went for the underdogs, the up and coming photographers, designers, stylists. We have art in our magazines, painters. It's just a beautiful thing. We've opened up a whole narrative for the creative community. And since 2014, there's a lot of people that have jumped on the bandwagon and are doing what we do. But we're just taking it a little bit further than most people.
I love it. I mean, it's so much talent. It's just amazing to me.
We appreciate it.
You have there. Yeah, it's just stunning. I just couldn't stop looking at the talent that was on there, going through your Instagram and looking at all the art. It's amazing what you've been able to create to help people. And I love that, you have photographers from Vogue just enrolled in the vision and wanting to participate in that too. That's awesome.
It's amazing. I mean, when you think about a kid from New Jersey, Washington, D.C., and say you're going to get into a cliquish community, it's really interesting to see where we are now. From what I was saying earlier, the people that were, a lot of people told me I was beneath them. I mean, they literally said it, and not so nice. Mm-hmm. And, me telling them it's okay. When you call me later, I won't remember this conversation. I think we're up to 17 people right now that work with us that told me that.
Wow.
6 or 7 years ago, and they're crucial to what we do. So if you believe in yourself, I think you can do anything. It's just making a plan, getting with people that understand business and help you write your plan, and just go step by step and learn what you need to do to make that plan become a reality.
That was going to be my question for you, was really, how do you keep people enrolled in that vision? And I think you just nailed it, is you believed in the vision and what you're doing and yourself. And I think that's so crucial. No one's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself first. How can you have others believe in you if you don't believe in you, right?
Right.
It's a big part of the vision.
Right. Yeah, I'm a salesman by nature. My mom said I was selling when I came out the womb, but the thing about it is being able to sell your vision in an authentic way that people want to understand more about it. It's the biggest thing. And then once the people come on board, to keep feeding them and nurturing them. I would not be where we are right now without my immediate team, which is my creative team. And they help us. They help come together. We meet every week, and we do concepts on what type of shoots that we want to do. We want to push the envelope. I think the cover we had now, we created a 10-foot woman. And, and it's just, we're doing some things that are really remarkable. And now, we have art galleries reaching out to us and asking for collections, because they're taking this thing and they believe in it. They give the company their blood, sweat, and tears. And we just have a great time creating magic, and everybody loves each other. It's a family environment.
That's awesome. Who's been the biggest influence for you?
Wow. It's kind of funny. I guess back before reality TV, I was always a Donald Trump fan. And the only reason why I really was is because this guy, he wasn't scared to do anything, say anything. And it was like, wow, this guy could do it. I know I can. I mean, so I would watch him, I've also been blessed to have been around Dan Snyder, that owns the Redskins. And he said a lot of influencing words to me back when I was a little bit younger, and told me I could do anything that I put my mind to. So I had some key people in my life that saw something in me. Had some great mentors growing up. I had the Karate Kid experiences. Yeah, I'll mentor you and come over on Saturday, and the bucket and the sponges are outside, and you're washing cars and never go into the house. And it's like, oh man, I got to come back, And then finally, one day, you don't quit. They open up the vault and give you those nuggets. But been blessed in my life to be around some great people and have some great people impart into my life.
So, how do you feel like that's helped you along the way? Because one of the things, the reason I ask that is because one of the things that we talk about at I Do Systems, and especially with Pillar 5, is the necessity of having a team around you, the necessity of having experts to guide you along the way. So, can you expand on that as far as your life goes? You're mentioning these people that, Mr. Miyagi do. So wax on, wax off, man.
Wax on, wax off.
That's super exciting, but I think it's important for business owners to understand how that helped you along the way.
Yeah, so I think, the influence that I had in the community and the people that came on board on the team for me and my business, and I think it works in every business, or I know it works in every business, is everything that the business needs to survive and to thrive and to create. I have that person in place on every level of my business. So anything that I don't have is something that I would outsource anyway. But for me, I have, I think they'll be happy, but I have a lead photographer that's an award-winning photographer, Mark Anthony Smith. He runs the photography division of the company. I have a hair and makeup stylist, award-winning, that runs the hair and makeup part, Christine Howard. I have my main fashion director that runs the designers, Norita Vanek, Nor's Designs. I have one of the top videographers that's worked on A-lots and movies that runs the videography company, part of the magazine. I have great assistants, Portia. I have associate editor, which is a horrible position, Jackie Bryant, that has to make sure every word and credit is right in the magazine. Worst job in the world, but she's been doing it since day one. I think, with that core group, it allows us to branch out. It allows me to be the creative, to be able to put time into the other teams in different countries, to make sure that everybody's thinking creatively. Because our business, the sale comes with creative. With people want to see something that wows them. So that's very important. You can sell to anybody, but if it's like, it's nice, they're not going to come back and buy. And we're a 200-page publication, so our price point's not cheap. It's not cheap, so it has to be extra special. So that team is what keeps it going. They're working right now on a big event shoot that we have coming up, and they keep me going. They don't let me slip. They make sure that my mind's free to be able to lead and inspire them, and they do the same thing for me. Love them. Couldn't do anything without them.
I love that. And I know we had a question that came in from the audience about your Karate Kid moment takeaways, but I hope that anyone that's watching will replay what you just said, because you mentioned all of the experts that you trust to do their jobs, that you trust to step in and take over these things. So that allows you the freedom to do what you do best and do the thing that only you can do, for this business, for this magazine, to keep producing such quality work. You're going to have those experts in place. You're going to have people that you can count on that will step in and do their part. So I love that. And I hope they see, just from where you started, and part of your story was you had people telling you that you weren't good enough, that you weren't, that you weren't where they wanted you to be, but look where you are now. And, a lot of that is due in part to not only your tenacity, but that team that believed in your vision, that stepped in and said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make sure this, we see this to fruition. So I love that.
It's important, when we're talking about in the beginning, even my mother told me she thought I should concentrate on something else. And now she's my biggest supporter. I mean, it's people have their opinion, but if it's something that is in your gut and it just keeps coming up, it keeps coming up, you have to pursue to see what that is. Because one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, what if I would have? And it's no excuse that you're working a 9 to 5 because, I jumped out with my wallet and an idea. I tell people all the time, if you have a job, that's the best time to pursue stuff. You got income coming in. I had ramen noodle days, taking care of kids and eating ramen noodles because I was feeding them. I mean, if it's there, you gotta push, you gotta do it. You have to try, figure it out.
Hey, and those were the best ramen noodles ever, though, weren't they?
Best ever.
It's so true, though.
Yeah,
those are the moments.
I'm sure we can all write a book, 1,001 Ways to Cook Ramen Noodles. Because when you eat them, it's like steak. When you have a vision, it's
That's
like
right.
It's not a noodle. I'm eating steak.
That's right. Every day.
It's all about the mindset.
Yes, mindset. Yeah, and I always tell people, it's one thing, once you do the plan and you think you have it figured out, then you have to align yourself with some professionals that can make that Chinese turn into English, because there's steps that you have to take. You don't have to bump your head all the time. There's people out there like you guys that are experts. Experts are out here. They'll help you and they'll help you put your vision together. And then it's up to you to make the steps.
That's great wisdom right there. I think that's been one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year has been how much opportunity and resources that we have, just going through all the different entrepreneurs we've had on the show, going through the experiences with COVID and their experiences with COVID.
Yes.
And how there's just so much opportunity, but a lot of times just because we're not aware, we don't take the time to look for those resources. We think there's not, but once you dive in, look at this right now. You have photographers that are doing $7,500 one photo in this magazine that others that are starting. I don't know if they're starting photographers, right? But other photographers have the opportunity to be in that same realm with them, which is amazing. You would never have that otherwise. That's powerful. Power of association. So we are going to jump into a quick break, and then we'll be right back with H with Prolific Quarterly. We'll see you in a minute. Go refill your coffee.
I see ESC, I see community, I see connectivity, I see from the business owner and from those who are involved that, you don't have to do it alone.
It's a safe place where I know that we have the same goal and vision, and where our intent is to help people. That's what we're going for first and foremost. And whatever happens is the results of that. But our goal is to help people first.
I think the core values is each component that's coming to the table here. Each brand is a core value of ESC.
It's a joining together of everybody.
Do what our job is, support each other and be business partners to each other. To me, that's priceless. When Mike said, I've been waiting for this for the 12 years, I'm with you, Mike. I feel like this is the moment that all this is built up is to this moment. And so it's just super exciting. So.
People are looking for solutions. They're wanting to go into one place to support them in all kinds of different areas. And I see this as being revolutionary.
It's just going to benefit so many people in such a profound way.
There's a huge benefit across the board in ways that we don't see, but we all benefit when we all succeed.
I see a new beginning. I see fertile ground for entrepreneurs.
This is a group of people that is coming together to make that happen and then to multiply that. So yeah, we need you. We need everybody to be part of this.
One of the problems that I've had thus far is that I'm going on my experience. I'm building a business on my heartache. And one of the things that I've had to take out of that is you can't build a business entirely on emotion. And so this allows me to take the emotion out of it. This is what you need to do, whether you like it or not.
And we're back with H from Prolific Quarterly. Super excited to continue. I guess I hear the music going.
There it is.
Dancing. It's time for a party.
Yeah, you're frozen, so we're missing your dance moves. Come on, H, you want to get into them. This one called Abdul.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get you guys walking that runway. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna walk that runway.
We're ready. We're ready.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, even just with the video that Carlton was showing on the break, I just thought to be there and just even see what's going on in that environment, why everyone's working their magic and doing that thing. I bet it's just electrifying to be there. I think I'd just be like the Cheshire Cat, just like grinning from ear to ear. It just looks so fun.
It's amazing. I mean, as long as we've been doing it, like anything, right? If a team comes together and everybody executes what their objective is, and you do it in a high energy, loving environment. And the thing with us is, like, we had a publication that came out Friday. We had shoots in it that the team did probably back in February. So for everybody to see what it looked like, and everybody goes back to the day, it never gets old. The office sends it over, the group chat starts lighting up, awesome, oh my God, I can't believe it, and it never gets old. It's just something about a team accomplishing things together. And I actually love everybody on my team, and they love each other, and it's like we're family. It's the most amazing thing.
It definitely makes things better when everyone likes each other, I think, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just, wow. It's amazing. We do have something that's really unique that nobody does. And I didn't talk to you before the show, but all our covers go live. So we're partnered with a company called Live Portrait. And if you download their app and then you hold the phone right over the cover, it comes into a video, and most of it is what it took to make this cover.
That's cool.
So it's really interesting. So we did a little test pilot with them back in 2017, and we just partnered with them. So actually, the back cover of this publication is the one, and then every cover from now on will go live into a live experience.
That's awesome.
That is.
So could we go back into your team building a little bit? And
yes.
How did you build your team? Where did you start? Did you just start with your lowest hanging fruit, like your BFF, and we're like, hey, I have this vision, jump in the car, we're going places? Or, how did you decide who's the number one you were going to call?
So yeah, the team it was kind of like an NFL or NBA team. I mean, it was like, wow, you got these people, you're reaching out. When I started with the team, it was easier for me to get models. That was the easy part because of the arena that I functioned in. So I found a photographer.
Or to wear beautiful clothes.
Yeah, So, with that, it opened up a lot of opportunities to meet designers, got involved in my local community. I always recommend people, you got to get plugged into your local community, chamber, networking groups. You got to figure out what's going on. And people don't really realize a lot of people are looking to establish relationships to grow their brand. So we got the models, found a photographer that would travel for me. He started working, started seeing, kind of coming up with some concepts. Then I was like, oh boy, after a year, I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. I need a real team. So I started identifying the positions that I needed within the company. So then I started going on social media and just reaching out to people and asking them, what do you think about showcasing some of your talent? And like, okay, maybe, and just stayed on them. Then I started going to shows and talking to designers, started going to hair shows, getting plugged in. So for myself, I used casting because I used to be a casting agent. So I used casting to get near a lot of people. So it put me in rooms and events that I would have had to pay a lot of money. It worked out where I could get into a lot of events and then pick what I wanted to go to. But identifying, I started going for the best at first and started getting shot down, like I said earlier. But as the product started evolving and opening up eyes, then it opened up a lot of conversations where I could go to people that I was paying attention to for a while, seeing how they moved, how they did business. I wanted a no drama zone, but I did want the best of the best so that I understood where I was at was not where I was going. So I needed somebody to be there that understood what was going on and had the same type of dream I had. And it was a synergy to bring the brands together. So at the end of the day, we're pushing each other and we're going to grow and have successes together. And it's not just going to be under the Prolific banner. It's going to be under your banner too. And we just started plugging away. Went through a lot of people because a lot of times you think it's the right person and you're like, what did you say? Nah, that's not. What do you mean she showed up drunk to the place? Nah, you got to go. Like, what are these people doing? So we went through some people, but it also helped us identify what type of people we needed in every position. And I think as a business owner, you have to understand that you can't do everything. My mom used to tell me, hey, you're good at everything, but you can't do everything. And I'm like, yeah. So I make it a purpose to try to learn what a position entails so that I understand what type of person that can do it. Like I said earlier, right now, my team's meeting right now. I don't have to be there. It's the most beautiful thing. I never downplay it. I never downplay it because I'm not even thinking about if it's going to turn out good, or I don't want to hear nothing about it because I know everybody's going to get what they need. So, it's just structure. It all was structure. I had to learn what I needed, not what I wanted.
Yeah, that's part of the journey of it all, right? Which really, it didn't take you that long when I think about how long you've had your magazine and what you've been doing since, because it was 2016, I think, is when you originally started, correct?
We started in 2014. We rebranded in 2016. 2016 is when that that paradigm started changing, where the right people started being put in place. I think the key for us was that when I started, I had two key people that I brought over to that side of the business that were there to support me. So I was able to maneuver and to travel, be where I needed to be, and the business stuff was still being taken care of. So about 2016 is kind of where we understood kind of what we were and what we wanted to be. And then I think during that process is when I really started picking out what and who we really needed. And then it was just like, let's go shopping. I got a shopping list. Let's go shopping. You know, I didn't want the regular stuff. I wanted the organic stuff. So I had to pay attention, you know. I had to listen to people. I had to pay attention. Made some good decisions, made some bad ones.
Yeah. Well, at this point, are you guys making money and paying people, or are you still selling people on the vision of what you're doing? Or
it's a mixture. It's a mixture. I mean, we have our immediate team. We're getting ready to go into a profit sharing situation. I wanted to create how Avis did back in the day and make it an employee-owned business. So right now we break bread on projects. The good thing about us is we get paid to do a lot of what we do. So when we do shoots and stuff for people and for brands, they pay us to do it. So people are making money, but I want them to be owners.
That's awesome.
You sound a lot like Tehran and Carlton. It's almost like you guys are all from the same part of the country. No, it's such a beautiful story, the things that you're saying. And I think a lot of business owners, I hate to say it this way, but it's almost like they overvalue what they have and undervalue, giving a part of that away, bringing in someone to help them along the way. It's not going to diminish you. It's only going to help you multiply, because you can do so much more with them. So I love that that's your story, and that's the way that you're looking at it. Is I want you to own this with me.
Yes.
This is, because you couldn't do it on your own age, like your mom said. And I love that she instilled that in you, that, hey, you can do anything. That's an amazing thing to have someone say, but you can't do everything.
Right.
So it's good for people to hear that and understand that you're going to go so much farther if you've got someone alongside of you. You need to sell your vision. Like Natalie was saying, you need to be able to articulate that, and people will want to support you. People will want to join you, the right people. One of the things that I question is a lot of people, you said, you learn enough to understand who you need. So how do you stop yourself from going further? Because that's where I've seen a lot of business owners get bogged down, is they get caught up in doing the thing. Oh, I need to know social media so I can find someone to do my social media. But then they try to learn everything they can. They're spending so much time. So where do you draw the line and say, okay, now I know enough, I'm going to find someone that can do this?
I think we all, especially in entrepreneurs, it's not enough hours in the day to do anything. And especially when you have other responsibilities like human beings that you're responsible for, pets, family, friends, there's not enough time in the day. So I know for me, I know COVID helped me realign my day-to-day. Being trapped in the house and looking at what I was doing. I think right before COVID hit, we had just took 23 people to New York Fashion Week, and we had just got back, got settled, had a new beautiful facility, and we were rolling, but it was continual rolling. It was trying to be everywhere when you really didn't need to be everywhere. You know, I have a lot of people that love me. I have a lot of people I love, but I can't go to every event. There's multiple events every week. Sometimes somebody from the company is going to go, and sometimes we might not be able to go. So just defining a timeline of what I really need to touch and what I don't need to touch. It took me a while to understand that. So social media, that's a full-time job. It's a full-time job to do it accurately. I'm going to give it to a third-party vendor. We have somebody doing a test with us now. I don't have the time to do it, and I don't want to bog down anybody on the team to do it because they're working on what they need to do. So yeah, I mean, I can take a picture, but I'm not a photographer. My pictures look great, but the hard part is not the picture, it's the editing the picture. It's sometimes an hour to 2 hours per picture, you know? It's rough. You know, a publication for us, for me as a person, when we're in production, I have to go through 10 to 12,000 pictures to pick 5 or 6 per editorial.
Wow.
So it's like, it's shut down time for me during that week. You know, it's just really dealing with the family and just offline to the world because everything starts to look the same.
I was going to say, yeah. Are you just taking it down to small details at that time?
At that time, and I mean, every editor has their like way they do it. Mine is kind of like the story from the first image to the last. I'm trying to take a story between the different looks. So a lot of times it's tedious because it doesn't mean that's the best picture that jumps out at you. You know, it's just like, what should be in between this picture and this picture? Well, what should follow this editorial that was before it? You know, it's like, it's rough. So just identifying what you really need to spend time on and what you don't. So if I'm spending time on it, it has to have some type of reward back. And it's kind of immediate reward. I mean, there's some things that you're doing for the future, but in our business, we're turning and burning so much that most of the stuff that needs my immediate attention is something for tomorrow, next month, you know? So it's kind of like, okay, you know, you get a call and say, hey, we need a permit to be there, and we're supposed to be there on the 5th. It's like, why do we have to have a permit now? So now you got to put somebody on gaining a permit because you got people flying in town to do this shoot. So it's a lot more than just the artistic part. So I think as a business owner, you just really need to understand what your immediate attention needs to be on and what your long-term production needs to be on, and what's not your thing. Find somebody that can do it. It's worth the money in the long run.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in your lane, because it's like, how much did you, my mom said, how much did you make today? It's like, what'd you do? It's like, oh yeah, I was gonna bring money, right? It's like, no. It's like, why are you doing it? Give it to somebody else. Okay, Mom, I will.
Yeah, otherwise it eats up all our time. And then if you're doing something you really don't enjoy, it can be frustrating. That's one thing I had to learn. It's like, if I don't like it, it has to be delegated, or I'm just going to be in a bad mood.
That's true. It's true. It's oh my God, it's such a process. It's such a process. But everything I say, it always goes back to my team, because it allows me to figure this stuff out, because I'm not worrying about the captain steering the ship right now. I'm not worried about crashing into an igloo. It allows me to think and to do why they're with us. It allows me to do it, and that they trust me in doing it, just like I trust them in everything they do.
I love it. That's such a blessing to be able to have that peace of mind, to be able to trust the people that you're working with like that.
Oh man, I say it every day. It's like a broken record, but I mean it, and they know I mean it, and they know it. You know, it's like we took our break during COVID. We weren't meeting, of course, during those real rough months. And I'm in Florida, so it's like party city here. I don't think we even think it's a pandemic. We never did. They were still going into clubs and stuff. So people are just out and people are coming. So, we backed up and we're conscious of everything. And I remember everybody was like, we need to start our weekly meetings. And I was like, yeah, we're going to do it. We're going to do it, And the last person that said something to me was the person that doesn't speak a lot. And when he said it, I was like, okay, we'll start next week. And I was like, wow, these guys are really serious. They're like committed. Like this is part of their life, We've got, I'll tell you about my team. My lead designer wanted to do a shoot in Paris. So her husband made a trip to go to Paris, and we shot in the same building and room as the Maybelline commercial that was out. And it's like, that's the type of team I have. Their families are invested into it. It's a green light all the way around. And so every decision I make is not just for the immediate people. I think about their families, because their families have said, okay, I'm going to give you my wife. I trust my wife with you, and I trust that she's going to get what she gets, what she needs to get. And that's the kind of people that we have. So everybody's sold out on our team, but I don't know if they would if we didn't have vision and there wasn't fruit. I don't know.
I wish there was always that. Huh?
You're sold out.
I
know, people can smell the BS, right? But when you have someone that's committed, knows what they're doing, dogs don't chase parked cars, right? It's like when H is up there and he's talking about the vision of where we're going, everyone's enrolled. It's like, hey, I want to be a part of that too.
And a lot of that comes from them, because, even the days when I'm like, oh man, one of them will call or text and say, hey boss, what's going on? Like, hey, so, it's the synergy of the team that keeps us really all going. And I think it's, I thank God that, we have the right people. We really do.
So what's next for you guys?
Well, what's next for us is we are next week, 2 weeks. I think first week of April, we'll have our first Mint NFT up.
So cool.
It's going to be great. Thank you. We just met last Friday with one of the biggest art galleries here in St. Petersburg, Florida. So we're getting ready to work on a collection to go on sale for August in the art gallery. We're getting ready to plan an event in a gallery a little further south for February. We're going to do an annual release party for our fine arts next year, and we're going to have it in a art gallery. So we're doing some things like that. We're working on monetizing things and exploring on how to further get our great work out to the public. And it's been a great ride so far. A lot of people have been supporting us and teaching us how to do it. But I think the best thing is people want it, and that lets you know that, hey, I'm doing something right. The team's doing something right. So we wake up, we do it every day, and it's like, yeah, this is starting to see that fruit and people getting excited more close to you.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I want to make sure we go back and in the few minutes that we've got left, answer the question, Karate Kid moments. I think it was Joe that asked, what were some of the biggest Karate Kid moments? And we always talk about our takeaways at the end of the show. So we would love to hear, something that you learned, because now you are Mr. Miyagi. So
yeah,
art and wisdom.
I think I think the biggest one for me in a little bit more detail was it was one of my mentors was the guy that owned Net Zero, the dial-up internet company back in the 90s. And I was introduced to him through somebody and got to go out to his compound with him. Actually, I was introduced to him by a friend of mine that did custom home wiring. So he needed somebody that had special clearance, and he did it for the government. So he had special clearance. So he wanted some type of audio down in his wine cellar. So my friend asked me to help him actually, and I went and helped him. It was a weekend job he had, and I said, "Yeah, I can help you, man." And I met the guy and told him what I was doing. He told me who he was, and he said, "Ah, man, I wouldn't mind helping you out a little bit." He said, I can mentor you. And I said, okay, that'll be great. So 2 months goes by, I don't hear from him. So then I keep reaching out, of course, and I hear from him. So the story I was talking about earlier where he arranged for me to come. So I come to his house and he has me washing his cars. And his wife's like looking out. She brings me lemonade and I'm washing his cars. So I'm like, okay, cool, you know. So I go home. I was married at the time. I go home and I say, she said, what happened? I said, I washed his car. She's like, what? I said, yeah, I washed his car. And she's like, that's crazy. I said, no, it's not. I just leave me alone for a minute. Let me process this. So next time I go over, same thing. 4 times. 4 Saturdays, premium family time. 4 times I went over there, never made it into this guy's house, but washed his car, different one every time. And after the 4th time, when I came back the 5th time, he goes, oh, you're ready to come in the house. I was like, wow, like, okay. So I had proved myself to him that I was worthy of getting some knowledge that he had. And I always thought back, if I would have quit, what would have happened? And I think 2008, I think it was when I went to the Obama inauguration. I was in a hotel in Arlington, Virginia, in the Embassy Suite, and I'm in the hotel with a couple people going in the elevator. And this like 23-year-old kid looks at me and he goes, who are you? I know who you are. He's like, are you on TV? I was like, no. He was like, I know who you are. And I was like, really? And it was the kid of the guy. He remembered me years later. It must have been what? He was a little baby then. And he remembered me. He was 23. He remembered me. And I was like, wow, that for a kid to remember you that long, he was looking.
Yeah, you had to have taught him something too.
Yeah, he was looking. Didn't know what was going on, but he was looking. He was like, man, yeah. He said, my dad was talking about you for a long time. I was like, have never talked to him after the 3 years I was around him. Haven't talked to him again. He said he still talks about you. I was like, wow. So it just made me feel like, okay, let me just keep pushing, figure my little stuff out. I know I can be successful, you know. But yeah, I almost quit. I almost quit. I was fired up watching that man's cars. I was like, man, I was so tired when I got home, I couldn't even wash my car. I was like, oh, man.
Well, I was thinking it might also depend on the type of car you're washing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
it was a $250,000 car. I might be pretty inspired by it.
It was nice, but I never got inside of it. But yeah, so you know, it was one of those things where I had to dig deep down and really soul search. When I did, I didn't feel funny at all. I really didn't. It could have went a whole bunch of different ways internally, but I didn't feel funny at all. And it was like, what do I really have to lose? I mean, if this guy doesn't talk to me, he doesn't talk to me. I tried. I tried to get to somebody, and it didn't work. I would have did it again. But it wound up working, and it opened up a door for me. That's how I met Dan Snyder and a bunch of different people in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area that really inspired me and saw something in me. So it always challenged me when I wanted to give up on stuff, Well, if this person saw something in me, maybe I should not give up, because I wanted to give up a lot. It wasn't always easy. Still isn't. I mean, it's life.
Right.
Life is,
as an
is
entrepreneur.
yeah, it's a movie,
hard.
And you're the star. So it's like, I always tell my staff, I'm like, hey, life's a movie and you're the star, but you don't get to write the script. So, hey, it's like, you just go along with it. So I think that was my hardest one, because it challenged me as a man, because I had that whole thing going on too. So,
yeah.
But it was worth it. It was worth it.
Definitely.
You are inspiring so many people. I'm seeing the comments come through, and I'm glad it's not just me. But yeah, it's super inspiring, because you just continued to push. You had a vision and you were doing whatever it took. And that's where so many of our audience members are. We're wondering, how do we get these amazing teams? We're wondering, is it worth it? We feel in our hearts that it is. And so I love that you just kept pushing, and you washed cars, not knowing whether that was going to get you anywhere or not, but it was worth that shot. You took the chance. And so that is tremendously inspiring. I am so thankful that you joined us and were able to share that with us, because I think that's going to touch so many lives on the replays and everything.
I hope it does. I mean, I would just say, for people that are really trying, it only takes one person, the right person, to be in your corner, and to, even if their job is just to say, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. You have to figure it out before you give up. If you don't have the whole thing figured out, don't give up. Don't give up. I remember when I played basketball, I remember if somebody got the best of me, I was like, you know what? This guy just dropped 30 points on me tonight. But tomorrow, the next time we play, I'm going to get him. So I had to study tape, watch his moves, and then figure it out. And always did. I don't take defeat lightly. I think the biggest thing is to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, but don't give up until you figure it out, and look for that one person that can support you and believes in you. And then you have a great foundation to start.
So true. Awesome. H, thanks for joining us this morning. It's been great having you.
Thank you. It was great. I really appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing. I love my guys that are in the background. I think that this is a good time. I think it's a great opportunity for people to come together, share, because it's a lot that we need to do right now in every asset. I mean, we're on the creative side, but there's so many things that people are trying to do and needs to be done. I mean, we need to understand how to build wealth and leave a legacy to our family. So, I mean, there's so much. So this platform is very important. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Same to you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Excited to
much.
have you to continue witnessing your growth. And I know I'm going to meet you one day.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is
on the
just
runway, Matt. On the runway.
Yeah, this is just the beginning. Just the
That's right.
beginning. So we'll definitely get together offline, and we'll do some amazing things together. Definitely.
Awesome. H, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Miss Shanna, takeaway for today.
Vision. I love that he started with vision and then he got a team. So I think that's the key things for me is, and that's what I always recommend to anyone I work with. You start with your vision and then you get a team to help you build that, because you cannot build it alone. And wash cars if you have to.
Yeah.
What about you, Nat?
Oh my gosh, there were so many, but I I think the biggest one that I hope that people took away is that your character is everything. And if H didn't show that from the second he got on the screen till the second he left, even though I would, try to dig a little bit deeper, you could tell so much just about who he is. Tehran touched on it. He even put I do in one of his comments, right? It's about who you're being, be, do, have. And then one of the other things that I love too, my now score, which he put, this guy must be jersey ownership for everyone. Yes, ownership. That was the other one. So get it, H. I'm excited for the team. What a great team. And I just love having them here this morning. So that was mine. So, hey, pillar5.com. I saw that in the chat somewhere. Go take your spirit animal test. Even if you're replayed, take your test. Pop it in the comments. We want to know what your animals is. The first 5 that do that, you'll be getting a free gift from the Better Your Business show. So go do that. Drop your animal in the chat. We want to know who you are. And take your pillar5.com free assessment. Go to Prolific Quarterly. See them. You can go on Instagram and see all the beautiful artwork, pictures, photography. I mean, just stunning. We have a little shout out from part of the team there. Oh, yes. Awesome. I love it.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Love it.
All right, you guys. So have a wonderful week, and we will see you next Monday. We are going to be going into special editions because season 3 will be starting in a quarter. We'll be starting soon. So we're going to be going to special editions. Get ready for season 3. We'll see you guys soon. Have a wonderful week.
Hey.
Our goal is simple: to help you achieve the dream and vision you first had when you thought about starting a business. We're here to make growing your business less complicated. There are building blocks to build a sustainable business. We promise to seek them out and address them all. The Better Your Business show starts now.